Coming up, the tributes to fallen heroes in Floyd County continue.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. After 3 officers and a police K-9 were killed in a shooting 1 week ago tonight, the third of 4 services was held today, with another large procession escorting Prestonsburg officer Jacob Chaffins to his final resting place. WYMT's Jordan Mullins was in Floyd County to see how the community is honoring and remembering Officer Chaffins.
Officer Jacob Chaffins of the Prestonsburg Police Department was laid to rest Thursday, with people from across the Commonwealth and country to pay respects and show their support.
We were privileged enough to be in Jake's life for those years that he was here. And to me, that's everything. I'd like to have him here. We all would.
Officer Chaffins was taken to Gethsemane Gardens, escorted by first responders, family, and friends. Regardless of how well they knew him, those in attendance were troubled by the loss.
This will be tough for a very long time. As I said, a hero's sacrifice is forever, so is that of the family.
But Officer Chaffins was more than just a police officer. A father, husband, and friend who played many roles in his community.
Jake was military. Jake was an EMT. Jake was a firefighter. Jake was a National Guardsman. So he was all of it. And no better person than Jake.
And he will always be remembered.
It's important that people aren't afraid. They don't keep from talking about these fallen heroes. Don't hesitate to talk about the fallen heroes. It does them good to hear stories about their loved one and to know that people care and that people remember.
For the sacrifices that he made and the legacy he leaves behind. In Prestonsburg, Jordan Mullins, WYMT Mountain News.
Fire Captain Daryl Sparks also said he would like to thank folks for all of the kind words on social media. The first responders who helped Prestonsburg Police, Fire, and EMS be with their fallen brothers in a time of tragedy, as well as those who came from across the country to celebrate and remember the life of Officer Chaffins. During his weekly Team Kentucky update this afternoon, Governor Andy Beshear paid tribute to the 3 officers and police K-9 who died, as well as all the other law enforcement officers who were injured that night.
Our hearts go out to all those impacted, but especially the families who are so strong. But there's at least a couple, high school or graduating from high school kids that aren't going to have their father around. And one soon to be elementary student as well. So please continue to think about Captain Ralph Frazier, Deputy William Petrie, and Officer Jacob Chaffins. They will never be forgotten.
A benefit is also in the works to honor the fallen and those who were injured in the shooting, as well as help their families get through this difficult time. And you can also help the victims' families through the Fallen Heroes of Floyd County Fund. County leaders set that up. The Floyd County Community Foundation is still taking donations as well. That's an online form through the Foundation for Appalachian Kentucky, and we understand so far the foundation has raised more than $44,000. We have a link for you on WYMT.com about how you can help. You can also find all of our coverage from the past week there, including the entire funerals of Deputy William Petrie on Tuesday and Captain Ralph Frazier yesterday. Music is known to be a source of healing in times of grief. WYMT's Chandler Wilcox shows us how a Floyd County native used his musical talents to help his community.
A touching tribute tugging at the heartstrings of Appalachia.
It really was just a way to, in my mind, to try to help the grieving process, and we all know that music heals.
Josh Shepard wrote 3 Fallen Angels a day after the shooting in Allen, commemorating the 3 officers who were killed.
I had the music that evening, and my wife said, I think you really need to record it. And and go from there. And I honestly wasn't expecting the reaction that I got.
A reaction proving just how close the community is, which Shepherd says is comparable to Mayberry in North Carolina.
We're a very close, tight-knit community. We support one another. We have each other's back.
The kind of mentality that he says the 3 officers live by.
Really good, wholesome people, really good, got your back kind of people. People you could call in the middle of the night and they would be there for you.
Shepherd hopes his music in the future will be commemorating happier times and that Thursday night shooting will never be repeated. In Prestonsburg, Chandler Wilcox, WYMT Mountain News.
Shepherd's 3 Fallen Angels now has more than 50,000 views on Facebook and 2,000 shares. A final memorial service will be held tomorrow for K-9 Officer Drago. Drago served the Floyd County Sheriff's Office for several years. A lot of drug investigations in those years. His memorial will be tomorrow evening at 6 o'clock at the Mountain Arts Center. We will stream it live on WYMT.com and the WYMT Facebook page.
Well, we have quieted down at least a little bit as we've gone through the nighttime hours tonight. Few of us, though, had some rumblers around a little bit earlier. They turned severe for a few of us, and we still have that threat. Not so much tonight, but as we head into tomorrow. Outside right now, taking you to downtown Whitesburg, where, well, the ground is still wet out there. They've had quite a bit of rain today. Many of us really have. High temperatures, or excuse me, current temperatures, they're sitting at 72. The dew point's at 72. So, yeah, we're dealing with some fog out there. Half a mile visibility in downtown Whitesburg right now. High temperatures today. Before the storms hit, it got quite warm. How about upper 80s and low 90s, even mid-90s? Monticello ended up at 94. Temperatures around the region right now, low to mid-70s. It is very muggy outside. Add factor in all the moisture in the air. We're dealing with fog tonight. Half a mile visibility right now in Harlan, 1.7 miles in Jackson, 8 miles Jacksboro, 7 miles in Hazard. And we're going to continue to see some of those visibility numbers drop, especially in the river valleys. Still dealing with a few showers from Jackson down to Harlan, over to Middlesboro, London, and Manchester. Not a huge deal, but not going to help with the fog tonight. We look at some of the rainfall totals we had a little bit earlier in some spots, including, you see that little bullet there, that little bullseye of higher numbers there in the eastern portions of Pulaski County. That's radar estimated more than 6 inches of rain that fell. So yeah, it was quite a rather soggy night for many of those storms. Not so much the high winds, but the heavy rain. Severe weather threat is gone for the nighttime hours, but we still have a front moving in, and I'll detail that coming up in just a little bit. Steve?
Evan, thank you. Town halls are being held as the Commonwealth moves toward possibly legalizing medical cannabis. The Team Kentucky Medical Cannabis Advisory Committee recently met here in Eastern Kentucky to hear the public's thoughts on legalizing medical marijuana. One member says 90% of Kentuckians want to see that happen.
Our purpose is not to promote cannabis, right? That's not why the governor put together this task force. To kind of go out into the communities, and we're going to different regions.
The last town hall meeting is Wednesday, July 20th in Frankfort. The committee will submit its findings to the governor shortly after that. Officials with Mission of Mercy are bringing their services back to Wise County, Virginia on July 22nd and 23rd for the first in-person clinic since the pandemic began. The event, offering free dental care, will be held at the Convocation Center on the campus of UVA Wise from 7 a.m. till 5 p.m. Friday and Saturday. Pre-registration begins on Thursday, July 21st at noon, and patients are encouraged to arrive early on clinic days. Officials with the Virginia Dental Association Foundation expect more than 300 dentists, dental professionals, and support volunteers to participate. Rent is still going up here in Kentucky. According to Quote Wizard, the average price of rent in the state is up 8% since January of this year and up 21% since 2020. They say that's the 10th largest increase nationwide. The average one-bedroom in Kentucky now costs $773, and rent overall is $132 per month higher than in 2020. The Ashland Police Department is looking for 69-year-old Jeanette L. Hennessy, who was last seen on the 3000 block of Central Avenue wearing red pants and a blue t-shirt. Officials say several agencies are trying to find her. If you see her, you're asked to call 911. The Bluegrass Army Depot in Richmond has started the process of destroying the last type of chemical weapon stored there. The depot says the first M55 rocket containing GB nerve agent was destroyed yesterday. Depot officials say the process should be complete by 2023, and then they will work to safely close the plant. This has been a long process. Chemical weapons stored there started being destroyed back in June of 2019. Floyd County School Superintendent Anna Shepard announced Thursday that all students who attend will get school supplies at no cost. Officials said the Board of Education approved the purchasing of supplies in a June meeting, including devices and backpacks to use. Shepard said the school district is also providing free meals to all kids ages 1 to 18 this summer. Mailing a letter the traditional way will cost you a little more starting this weekend. The United States Postal Service is raising the price of postage on Sunday. It will cost you 60 cents to buy a first-class mail forever stamp, a change of only 2 cents per stamp. The prices for domestic postcards and sending an international letter are also going up. The USPS points to inflation and increased operating expenses as the reason for the price hike. Coming up on Mountain News at 11, as jobs outnumber workers 2 to 1, the employment market appears to show no signs of cooling off.
And severe chances diminish somewhat tonight, but we're not done with those chances just yet. I've got the full breakdown coming up next.